When you're attempting these English exams and you hear the word essay, you get intimidated. Why? Because of the IELTS. In the IELTS, they ask you to write something that they're not even capable of. My name is Sunny and this is Sunny English, and in this channel I provide real tips and tricks on how to obtain your PTE score. So if you're new here, please subscribe. Now in this video, I'm going to continue on from the previous one where I showed you how to outline the essay. Now in this video we're going to talk about how to brainstorm the ideas for the essay. In the video that follows, we're going to take these ideas and we're going to create the essay. It sounds like a long process, but it's just because I want to show you step by step on how to structure your essay properly. Now with that said, I don't want you to be intimidated. The PTE essay writing is nothing like the IELTS. It is much easier. Content is not even that important. Now I'm aware there's more than one way to get to where we want to be. Okay, so I know that there are essay templates. I've got them too. So what this video is going to show you is how to write the essay out by yourself. Now some people don't want to memorize templates, so this is the alternative because it's not as difficult as what people believe it is. So this method will show you how to structure out your essay, how to brainstorm it, and how to write it out. So before we jump into the video, if you haven't seen the outline yet, just click on the link above. Watch that video first before you watch how to brainstorm, otherwise the information might not connect. Okay, so if y'all ready, let's get into it.
Okay, so I talked a little bit about the brainstorming in the outline, but not so much. I just gave you a little idea of what we're going to be using to help brainstorm. But here I'm going to give you an essay topic and then we're going to analyze it and see how we're actually going to brainstorm this. Now for the PTE, majority of the essay questions will be opinionated or agree or disagree. But basically, we will answer those two the same way. So that's why we're starting with it first. But most essay questions, you can actually brainstorm it the same way. You're basically thinking about saying something positive or saying something negative. So first, let's read the essay topic. Nowadays, mass media, including TV, radio, and newspaper, have become an essential part of our lives. What is your opinion? So there you go, it asks for your opinion. So how do we answer this? We would answer this with the agree or disagree. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the table that I provided below. Do you see this here? Okay, so this is going to give you an idea of what we're going to be talking about or how we're going to brainstorm. Do you see here that I have something called positive, neutral, or negative? These are referring to the topic sentences. So once again, let's read the topic sentence and determine whether or not it's a positive, neutral, or negative sentence. Nowadays, mass media, including TV, radio, and newspaper, have become an essential part of our lives. For this topic, I would call it neutral. The reason is because you don't see any negative words, and you really don't see any positive words either. But it doesn't matter because positive and neutral sentences are brainstormed the same way. How? As you can see here, if we agree with a positive or neutral sentence, we're going to think about the positive things. Okay? Now, if we agree with a negative sentence, we're going to talk about the negative things. And of course, it's the opposite. If we disagree with a positive or neutral sentence, then we're going to talk about the negative things. Okay? And if we disagree with a negative sentence, then two negatives make a positive. We're going to talk about the positive. What am I talking about? Well, first of all, let's answer the question. Now, for the sake of just practice here, I'll just say agree. And you'll notice that for me, when I write, I actually just agree with almost everything. And the reason is because the content doesn't really matter. It's not like they really want your real opinion. Okay, so I agreed with a neutral sentence, so I'm going to be writing something positive. Okay, so I'm looking for positive information. So let's go down to the topic. We want to brainstorm the topic sentences. We're not going to be writing sentences though. These are just keywords for you to build ideas. Now in the actual exam, I don't expect you to draw out all these tables. This is just for practice so you get into the rhythm, knowing what to ask yourself, knowing what questions to ask yourself in order for you to think of ideas faster. Okay, so we said that we agree. Mass media, I'll just highlight the main points. Mass media has, not have, but because of the newspapers and stuff, but has become an essential part of our lives, and we agree with that. So what is one good thing about mass media in our lives? So now I'm just going to think of keywords. So I'm going to think of why mass media is essential to our lives. And the first thing I can think of is for information. So why do we use mass media? For information. Okay, so now I need to think of another one. What's another positive thing that people use media for? I'll say entertainment. Okay, so again, I'm not writing down sentences, I'm just building up ideas now. We'll write the whole essay in the next lesson. We'll use this one and we'll write the whole essay. But for now, we just want to brainstorm. So this is the key point right here. So do you see that? Okay, so information is our topic for body 1. So now we need to write supporting reasons. How do we think of ideas for that? Just ask yourself this question. How or why does it happen? So information, how is information provided, or why is information provided? So for me, I think the how would be easier to answer. How is information provided? I'll put broadcast news. Okay, so they broadcast news to provide information. Okay, so I'll write a sentence talking about that. Next question I ask myself for the third sentence of the body is, what is the result? Okay, so they get the information, they broadcast the news, that's how we get it, and what is the result of that? I would say that we have an informed society. Okay, and that is my third sentence. So the next sentence, you see, we need to write an example. So this is the part where we're going to be making up stuff. You're not really going to be writing anything real or factual. So here, the examples need to be specific. If you remember that from the outline, specific example. So that means we need to name the thing that gives the information or broadcasts the news. And I'll just say it is CNN. Okay, CNN. Fake news. CNN. Okay, but again, we're just gonna make up stuff. It doesn't really have to be real. Let's move on to the second body. Okay, so entertainment. So how does it happen, or why does it happen? How do they provide entertainment, or why do they provide entertainment? Again, I'll go with the how. I think the how, I would say they how do they entertain? They provide entertainment with television shows. Spelling. Okay, so that's the next thing I'm going to be talking about. And then what is the result? What is the result of the entertainment when we watch television shows? Well, we watch it in our free time, so I guess I'll talk about relaxation. Okay, and that's it. So now we got to give another example. We need to give an example of the entertainment, maybe the television shows. I don't really watch TV much, but I just saw a commercial for this. Survivor. Okay, so we can talk about Survivor. It doesn't matter what you say, just say something about the TV show Survivor. And there you go. So this is the content, the information we're going to be writing about in body 1. And this is the information we're going to be writing about in body 2. So we're moving step by step now. So the next lesson I show you, I'm going to be using these words that I thought of and create sentences with them to fulfill the essay. But that's not all, because we're going to look at another one. Okay, so we're gonna look at another one and do the same thing. So first we start off again by reading the topic. So I'll read it for you. It is unwise to get married before completing your studies and getting established in a good job. Do you agree or disagree? So this question is pretty straightforward now. It's just agree or disagree. Okay, and as I mentioned before, I usually just write agree because I don't really care if the opinion is real or not. I just write it agree at all times. So now this sentence here, is it a positive, neutral, or negative sentence? Let's read it again. It is unwise to get married before completing your studies and getting established in a good job. I would say this is a negative sentence. The reason being unwise. Unwise should be considered as a negative word. So I agree with a negative sentence. So what do I think of? I have to think of some negative things about the topic. Okay? So I need to think of the negative things about getting married before completing studies and established in a good job. This is helpful because they actually gave us two different topics. One is about studies and the other one is about job. So the first body, I'm going to talk about the negative side of that for studies. And then the second body, I'll talk about the negative side of it for job. So what would I say here? Here I would say lack focus in school. Okay, and then the second body, what would I say here? When it's related to job, I'll say unstable income. Okay, so now we need to look at the question here. Okay, so how do they lose focus in school, or why do they lose focus in school? In this situation, maybe I can write why now. Why do they lose focus in school? I think they have distractions. Distractions. Maybe I'll put in what kind of distractions. I'll say because of more responsibilities. Responsibilities. I'm not writing sentences. These are just words for me to build sentences later. So distractions, responsibilities, so it's like two separate things. Okay. Next, what is the result? So what's going to happen? What is the result of this happening with the lack of focus in school and the more distractions because of responsibilities? I would say they would drop out of school. Okay. So I actually don't know if that's even true or not. I'm just making it up. Content doesn't really matter. Now it's time for my example. So now we need to provide a specific example to support this, meaning we need to use some names. And again, I don't really care what you write as long as you use a name. So I'll just say someplace in the United States this happens. Okay, so we'll just make up the content later, something about the United States. All right, moving on to the second body, unstable income. So how does the unstable income happen, or why does the unstable income happen? Maybe again, I'll say why. So here I would say unstable income because no set career path, because they don't have a good job. They didn't establish a good job. Now what happens? What is the result of this? No set career path. You probably heard of this before. Dead end jobs. They end up with dead end jobs. Okay. Now we need to provide an example of something like this happening. We need to support it with a specific example. I have no idea, but I'm just going to make it up about something in Australia. Okay. And we'll make up the content later. There you have it. We just did some brainstorming on how to create the ideas to do the writing. And once again, on the actual exam, you will not be drawing out tables like this. You're wasting time if you do that. But now you know the type of questions you can ask yourself to build the ideas. And that's why we practice this. In the next lesson, I'll be using the ideas that we built from the first brainstorm and creating the entire essay from that. But once again, if you don't plan on writing the essays yourself, you don't even need to be looking at this. The PTE full essay template will be able to create the entire essay for you without you having to write sentences. Because with this technique, you will be writing sentences.
Alright, there you have it. That was my step-by-step approach on how to create the ideas for the essay. The video that follows, we're going to take these ideas and we're going to write out the essay. Once again, my name is Sunny and this is Sunny English. If you want to see more tutorials like this, just click on the links on the side. But before you go, please remember to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you on the next one.